This is a real estate consultant and a realtor. Now there's this notion that buying land from Omo-Onile guys is a no-go area. A lot of my colleagues will say, or if you reach out to a lot of my colleagues and you're talking about buying land from Omo-Onile, they'll say, "Oh, don't try it. Don't try it. Don't even think about it." And there are lots of people who have had lots of issues, buying land from Omo-Onile guys. So Omo-Onile basically are indigenous landowners. They are folks who inherited land from their ancestors or whatever, And a lot of people have had lots of issues with lots of these guys. And I'll tell you some of the problems that folks encounter with Omo-Onile guys. One of them is selling the same land to different people. Another one is a situation where they sell a land, or a party sells a land to one person, and then when you come back, maybe after a couple of months, you find that your land is already fenced. And then when you start trying to find out what the problem is, some guys will come and tell you that, well, the person that sold to you is just a member of the family. He's not the only person you should have paid to. You're supposed to pay all of us. And then they start asking for more money, which may be more than the amount you paid for the land at the initial stage. Another issue is a situation where after buying the land from them, they start asking you when you want to start building. If you want to do your foundation, they collect money from you. If you are doing the first floor, they collect money. If you want to roof, they collect money. Whatever it is, they keep coming back, to collect money. So all of these issues, a lot of people have with Omo-Onile. But that being said, okay, there have been people who bought land from Omo-Onile guys, and they've not had lots and lots of problems or issues. Of course, the issue of collecting money when you are building, still happens. Some of them will collect the money from you at once. They say, okay, pay us 200,000, and that's all. We're not coming back to collect anything. But that being said, okay, I get clients who come to me and say, okay, Tayo, I got information about this land. What do you think? Now, as a realtor, the way I look at this business is I see myself as a matchmaker. So usually the first thing I always want to understand when a client comes to me is I want to understand what exactly the client is looking for, and then I begin to see whether I have a property that meets that need. Right. So when somebody comes, some of my existing clients, they come to me and say, "Oh, Tayo, I found this land by Omo-Onile guys. What do you think?" Now I know that some folks will say, "Oh, Omo-Onile, just forget about it. Don't go near it." But that is not my approach. If anybody comes to me and says, "I found land from Omo-Onile guys, I want to buy," usually what I'll tell them to do is to get someone, a professional that can help them investigate such a land. And when you're investigating, there are lots of things you're looking out for. Okay, you want to be sure that the people or the person selling the land to you is the person that is authorized to sell the land. Okay, you want to be sure that the land is not under government acquisition. You want to check that there's so many things that you need to check, and for all of these things to be done thoroughly, you need to get a professional involved, either an experienced surveyor, a surveyor that is experienced in land matters, or a lawyer. Okay, that is what I will do personally. If today I get chance to buy land from Omo-Onile, this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a surveyor or a lawyer to investigate this land. And when they're investigating, they're not just investigating, whether the land is under government acquisition or something like that. They also want to know the history of that land. Okay, the people come in and say, "We want to sell this land to you." Are they the rightful owner? Okay, you don't want a situation where you buy a land and then after a couple of months some other people come back and say, "Well, we are part of this family. You need to pay us as well." Somebody reached out to me recently, had that same problem. He bought land, and then they called him and said, the land you bought, they've already fenced it. And when they went back to them, they said, well, there are other family members you need to settle, and they're asking for money that is even more than the amount they pay for the land at the initial stage. So in order to avoid all this kind of situation, when you're buying land from Omo-Onile, you want to get somebody, a professional, who can help you do research. There are some families that are known to be notorious, okay? So you may not want to deal with such families. And then there are also some families, that have been known to, be, a lot of people have done business with them without having lots of issues. There are families who actually get surveyors to draw a layout for their land, and then they sell the land with the layout. So they don't sell one land to multiple people. They sell on the layout. They have the land laid out already. So once they sell this portion to one person, that's the end of it. They sell another portion to another person, and that's the end of it. So there are families like that. So the important thing here, especially for those who have found, maybe you got land somewhere from Omo-Onile, my recommendation, I would not say that, oh, don't buy from Omo-Onile, that Omo-Onile are bad people. Okay, even if you come to me personally, I don't deal with Omo-Onile. I partner with developers. Okay, but if you find, because I have had clients who had opportunities, they got land from Omo-Onile somewhere, and they want me to. They're asking me whether it's something they should go for, and this is the same thing I tell them: get a lawyer or a surveyor to help you do a research. You're gonna have to pay them, and then whatever it is that they recommend is what you should do. If they tell you don't buy, then you should not buy. Okay. Another thing with Omo-Onile is that Omo-Onile, they don't care much for title perfection. So if it's a land that needs to be regularized, at Alausa, they are not interested in that. They just want to sell the land and collect money. Okay. So buying from a developer has its merits. If you get from Omo-Onile, you want to buy, it's okay, but you want to make sure that you do adequate research, so that you don't get your fingers burnt. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you again soon.